Good morning, everyone. I am working on a little Christmas project today, and this is just a little table topper that you can, I think it's about 20 inches square, and it's just 4 log cabin blocks put together, and you can kind of see here how it looks. And I am quilting this on my machine. And usually you see me doing edge to edge or free motion. And this isn't big enough really to merit edge to edge or free. I mean, you could do free motion on this. It'd be lots of fun. But I decided that I have so many angular lines on here that I wanted to go ahead and just do a machine quilted piece here. So I thought I would share with you a stitch, a quilting stitch that I learned from someone else a long time ago, and it's called the Wobble stitch. And it resembles hand quilting somewhat, and it also gives your quilting stitch just a little bit of stretch. It won't snap or break as easy as a straight stitch would. So I'm going to show you my screen, and you can see that I have selected number 2, the zigzag stitch, and I have lengthened my stitch length to 3.0, and the stitch width is 0.7, and you can kind of see it here on my screen that it looks just a little wobbly, and it looks really great in your quilting. Let me get you back down here where you can see a little better. And I often use this wobble stitch. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just go around this block, kind of like I've done on the others over here. And I think each block's just a little bit different. It just kind of depends on where you start on your center square. And log cabin blocks are so easy and fun. So what I'm going to do is I am going to line, I'm just using the width of my presser foot as my guide. And I'm just going to line this up. So you can see, maybe, that this edge of my presser foot is right on the seam line, and this part of the toe of my foot, this inner cutout part of the toe, that's on this seam line. So I'm exactly the same distance from the edge of this center block on both sides. So that's where I want to start. So I'm going to pull up my bobbin thread, and I don't do any back stitching. I mean, I try not to do any back stitching when I use this stitch. And when I'm all done with my quilt, I need my tweezers. When I'm all done with my quilt, I knot them and bury my threads. So there's my bobbin and my top thread. So now I'm going to put my needle back down in the exact same place, and I'm going to turn my quilt because I want to start going down, because I've kind of looked this over, and I need to go here to be able to get some quilting on all the bars of my log cabin block. So here we go. So we're going to and I'm going to hold my threads. There should not be any thread nesting at all. And you watch, and I don't hold these very tight, I just hold them gently. And neither one of them will move when I start stitching, which means the only thread that's going into my quilt are the stitches and not a nest. So here we go. We're going to just take right off and go down the way. And when I see the inside toe the toe of my foot get to the next seam line, I'll stop and pivot. I'm having to do this sort of with my other hand, because if I used my knee on my knee lift, it would bang you guys all around. So, okay, now this time, let's see, this time I think I'll come over maybe to here. Actually, I'm going to turn here and come up and go over to here. There we go. Let's do that. But you can do it any way you want, as long as your quilt sandwich is locked together somehow with your stitches. I mean, it doesn't matter what side of the seam that you're on too much. So here we go. Now we're gonna, whoops, treadle down this way. And this time I'm gonna go all the way to the top. Why not? But if you wanted to do each bar, you could go around each bar. You can do whatever you want. It's your quilt. Okay, I'm going to try not to bump you. Okay, here we go. Whoop. And this time, let's see, where should we go this time? Should we turn here? Yeah, let's turn over here. Okay. And my presser foot's pretty much the same distance either side of the needle. So let me guesstimate here. One more stitch and then let's try it. You know, there's always the get PDC. Pretty darn close. Oh goodness. Okay, there we go. We're close. Let's go. And I'm not a big fan of going very fast, but here we go anyway. And I'm going to go all the way down, I think, on this one to here and come across. Yeah, let's do. Why not? And this is called the wobble stitch, and I went too far, and I'll show you what I do about that. If I happen to take a stitch or two too far, there's an old saying. A guy on a fast galloping horse is never going to notice that. And it's true. Nobody will notice it but you. So now I have clear over to here to get back on track. So rather than skewing back over fast and making it very obvious, I'll just go slow, and by the time I get down here to the other end, I'll be back on the edge of my presser foot, and it won't be nearly as obvious, and it'll fit right into the quilt. There we go. So before we're ready to pivot again, there we are. We're back on track. I tried to use my knee last time and it dropped it, so I just used my hand. There we go. All right, now let's see where we want to go now. Let's come down. I'm going to come down and I'm going to go just onto the next bar, kind of like we did the last time. This is just I believe it's an 80-20 blend for my batting, so I don't have a really thick batting in here. 1, 2. Well, maybe. Let's try it and see. Nope, we need one more stitch. I was thinking that when I stopped. One more stitch. Now we're going to be fine. Okay. So now then, I'm going to look ahead again and see where I want to go and where I want to turn. And there we go. I'll just head down, and wherever my little heart says that I want to stop and turn, I will. There's nothing anywhere written that says things have to be any certain way. You're an artist. Exercise your artistic abilities and you'll be just fine. Okay, good turn. I gotta have both my hands here. There we go. There we go. Ooh, look, I guessed that one just right. Okay, there you go. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish quilting my little table topper, and you're gonna have a really wonderful day. And now you know all about how to use a wobble stitch.